Hello and welcome to the latest episode of From This Point Forward, a Buffalo Sabres podcast. I'm Louie G here with Chris Plumer and Ryan Muir as always. We have a fun episode ready for you guys, so let's get started.
Let's acknowledge the fact that in one of your favorite movies of all time, you thought the slogan was "Ducks quack forever" instead of "Ducks fly together."
You also think they live in wells. It's the whole theme of the movie, Lou. But he had the duck call.
They go quack.
It would be Malcolm Subban, mostly because that one season where instead of letting him play for the Sabres for the last game of the year, they had him sing the national anthem. And it was a real, you're under contract, the season is over. We know you've only gotten to be up here a couple of times. How about you come back up here? Oh, great, I'll put my pads in the car. No. You won't need them. Just make sure you warm up the pipes when you're driving down the 90.
Mitch Marner.
You heard it, Mitch. If you want to sign here, you can drill Ryan's mom.
All right.
Ducks fly together will always be a classic.
The Malcolm Subban
every time
thing is I honestly don't know if I've laughed harder anywhere besides the Malcolm Subban story. So poor Subi, huh? Well, we finally got what we wanted. An organizational. I shouldn't speak for us all. Finally got what I wanted. What I told my Sabres ticket rep. what I would need before I would get back. And it was a big organizational move. I don't know if it was, it wasn't throwing Kevyn Adams out the door and hiring somebody else, but not going to try say his name. Jarmo. I could give it. I'm not going to try to say his last name, but Jarmo's with the Buffalo Sabres. No. Let's go initial thoughts on the move. I'll start with you, Chris, and then we'll get in a little bit to it. But initial thoughts on the move that Kevyn Adams made, or is it a Terry Pegula hire? That's one thing I'm trying to figure out. What's your opinion?
Terry hires at the end of the day. I like it. Will it make a difference this coming season? Who knows? But at least having somebody else there as we head into the draft and free agency, let's make some moves. Let's hope he has a say in something and it's not just, well, let's run it back while I'm here and see how it works.
Yeah.
My favorite part of this so far is just that Louie is like, let me, I'm not going to try to say his last name, but then you just call him Jarmo. Like he's like the people that call him Giannis Antetokounmpo or whatever, it's just Giannis, right? It's just Jarmo. It's not, we are in for such a treat when you try to read these tweets later. I think it's a good hire, but at the end of the day, I still feel like there's a lame duck, in the GM chair, and what are we doing here? It's just like a matter of time. Okay, is he going to slide into the GM role? Is he going to hire the next GM? I'm just kind of still. I feel like the plan is kind of just been floundering. It's seemingly directionless, and then of course you have the article today that I did not get a chance to read, but I know from Matthew Fairburn, I don't know if either of you had a chance to read it, about the organization, kind of who runs the show over here, and maybe Louie, you can kind of give us some insight into that.
I did not get to read it. I did hear some of the things and catch some of the things from it, but I don't want to quote Fairburn in his thing without being able to having a chance to read it. But yeah, I think there is a lot here to try to figure out as we see what happens here in the next year. Is like, it just feels so like this whole process, the fact that he like that, according to reports, we don't know what those meetings are like, but the fact that Kevyn Adams had to sit in meetings with Pegula for days, as it was reported, to like present what his next plan is. And I made a reference to it last podcast, but it just feels like, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring in somebody that's done it longer and better. But not give him my job. Just I'll have him help me along the way. It just seems, from someone who has taken over a company that his father gave him, it feels very much similar. Like, all right, kid, you're not going to cut it, but I will find you somebody to help you out as long as you could make it, because I can't fire you. And this feels like Terry saying he can't fire Kevyn Adams because they're friends, they're whatever. I mean, it's all so weird to me.
I mean, we know that Kevyn Adams' presentation was about the power of friendship when he hired his best friend, Eric Stahl. And what better way to continue to build on friendship than making a new friend with Jar Kekalainen?
Jar Jar. I am gonna. That's the only way we could reference him from now on, is Jar Jar.
Also, I didn't want to ruin the bit about you reading the tweets, but Ryan said something about it, and I couldn't stop laughing after you just said that you were struggling to read an article in English, and you're about to read Finnish.
Wait, I didn't say I was struggling to read it in English. I just said I haven't gotten to it yet.
You said you needed more time. Like,
not like more time, not more time to read it. It wasn't like I sat down with it for an hour and I couldn't get through the few paragraphs. I just have not.
I don't know how you spend your days, Lou.
Nobody does, honestly. I think there's a lot of people trying to figure that out.
Louie opens up the article and is like, where the fuck are all the pictures? Where? Too many words.
Let's talk. I mean, the actual job that he did with Columbus is like, if you look at it, and it's just so funny, and just like anything. I mean, let's think of the Darcy Regier kind of era here. Is like, by the end of it, everybody, 80% of the people are like, get him out of here because it's stale or whatever. And you see a lot of that. I spent a lot of time over the last week, like, searching his name on Twitter and seeing how Columbus fans, both sane and not sane, dealt with his tenure. And a lot of it was they were over him. But already, like, you see now, since that he's been dismissed, they were like, he was pretty good at what he did. Not for nothing, but last year's team was his whole imprint. And the Fantilli, he's drafted really well. Kent Johnson, Fantilli were early round picks here recently. He had who's the Gavricek, the defenseman that I've mentioned here that I want them to get from LA. He drafted him in Columbus. They traded him to LA. Never shy to make a trade. He really is swung big. Signed Johnny, got Johnny Gaudreau to come to a small market, big money. If it wasn't for his untimely death last year, I mean, that's a playoff team probably last year. They had just missed it. They started off really hot. I don't know. I'm back and forth. He had misses, but when you look back at, he made 100 and some trades in the 11 years. It is funny where some people are like, people are trying to make him sound good, or like, he led the Columbus Blue Jackets to their most successful time in history. Like, well, he was there for 50% of it. So let's not give him too much credit. He was there for half their existence, basically 11 of the 23 years. But 11 years of experience, and a lot of it good, I would say, is a much needed change for this organization.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think it can't get any worse, right? I mean, we are in the bottom. It really, like, we're in the bottom of the basement as far as talent goes in the front office, right? And you're talking about adding somebody with experience that is well respected. I've always had the belief that, like, Kevyn Adams in a trade conversation, like, would get kind of like laughed, out of the room, sort of thing. Or, you hang up the phone, you're like, oh, this guy, right? We can squeeze something more out of Buffalo, or like we can give them this run around. I think now you're establishing a little bit more credibility. So that's a good thing. Getting back to what I said initially, the problem I have is that it doesn't really seem like there's a overall, like, generational direction, organizational direction. It just, like, feels like you're constantly changing course, and hopefully this one works out. I think it's good to have his voice in the room. And yeah, let's go. Let's get some trades going. Let's get Connor McDavid on the Sabres. Do you think Jarmo can make that happen? I'm voting yes.
I'm just not sure, and I know this is just part of business and coach talk, or organizational talk, but they made it pretty clear that, quote unquote, it was Kevyn Adams who hired him and did the interview and all that stuff, and it doesn't. There's nobody from the outside. Let's say, I shouldn't say nobody, but let's just say 90% of the people from the outside are thinking that this guy can very possibly take Adams' job, right? And I know that happens a lot, right? A lame duck head coach, they hires an offensive coordinator with experience because he knows he needs to get better that year, and if he doesn't, that guy might take that job from him. So whatever. I know it's common in sports, but it just feels uneasy for me. And Adams has, like, this arrogance almost to him. It's not even arrogance. It's almost like indifference of the disaster around him, like that he doesn't see it the same way we see it. So I'm wondering if even he thinks his job's in jeopardy here.
I feel like I don't even think that he doesn't see it. He gives that attitude of, like, well, what do you want from me? Like, yeah. I mean, we'll beat it to death, but the taxes and palm trees press conference, that's a real, like, this job is hard. What do you want me to do? And it's like, yeah, your job is hard. That you got to do the hard stuff. But he just seems to have that, hey man, we all got to get a paycheck. This is the best I can do, which is infuriating. That's why I'm hoping against hope that we have a little bit of we can actually do stuff in the room now.
Yeah. With a little bit more pressing, I feel like we're, like, one press conference away from Adams, like, single-handedly, like, calling out Hochul and polling cars and being like, you guys are hamstringing the Sabres, with your damn policies. Like, I could just, I don't know. I mean, well,
when the hire came, we texted, and the first thing was Mura's blatant negativity right away. Just get another guy from Columbus. It's like this right away. I mean, we might have caught him at the wrong time of his day, but very, very rude. But then he changed it really quickly. He got excited because he goes, you know what this can do is we can have Louie try to read some of Jarmo Kekalaisen's tweets. And he sent one, and he goes, I can't wait to try to make new segment, try to make Louie good. So let's bring one up here so I can try to do this. All right. I'm going to share. Look at this. I'm not the technological buff that you all think I am.
It's taking this long to share something in English, so you can imagine.
All right. Let's do this. All right, this is it looks like a nice touching. So I'll try to have some emotion behind it because it seems like it might be a.
There's no exclamation points though on this one.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a heart though. You have to be romantic.
Okay, yes. I will. Okay. Tadella sur lalenen utnin tanan. Suraskalin Kanan Hermasimizis Mentorini Yastavani Frank Moberg. That's my favorite. Just like, but I just love that that always happens. Like they always are like, and then they're just like Frank Moberg. Nukui Poi. Hanyate Yalkinsina Vavanan Perinion Jota Judesta Ja Loja Le Sudesta Olen Sinule I Kuzeti Kirotien Ja Elat Misu Tososani Aina Boima Omosai Ja Istavi. And I think I crushed that kind of. No? I think I crushed that. Can we get a translation on that? Hold on. Translation. Oh shit. I was way too. I had way too much excitement in my voice for this, but translates to very sad news today. A true gentleman, my mentor, my friend Frank Moberg, passed away. He left me. Fuck, dude. I swear to God, I didn't pick this on purpose to be funny. He left behind a strong legacy of leadership and loyalty. I am forever grateful to you, and you will always live in my memories. Strength to family and friends. Now, I would try another one if I wasn't so worried about it being about like him announcing that he had AIDS or some shit. Like, no, he sent Ryan sent one. And he said he wanted me to do it with it, but I won't be able to find it. But it did. It had an exclamation point, and I can't. I mean, I just got excited about that one, and that wasn't exciting at all. That was actually kind of sad.
No, it was very sad.
Yeah,
I do love that you did the most racist Japanese voice in the middle of your Finnish reading.
I don't know if that's true. I'm gonna go back and listen.
We're gonna play the tape back.
Yeah, I don't know if we should. We'll play it back. I think that I crushed it. I have been working on my Finnish accent all week since that was man, that is hilarious. I swear to God, I just picked a random tweet, and that is so funny. I mean, not funny about his friend. I do apologize about Frank Moberg. Seems like a great guy. All right.
The legacy of Frank Moberg.
The Frank Moberg's gonna be a forever reference on this podcast for sure. R.I.P. Frank. All right. Another note, something that I thought was funny here today that came across. 3 major Sabres fumbles in the top 10 of the Selke voting. A quote unquote defense or a team that needs help defensively. Had Reinhart, I believe, was second. Eichel, I believe, was fifth, and Brendan Hagel. Again, calling Brendan Hagel a former Sabre like Ryan Mura did in our first 6 rounds of our draft, I think is a little bit of a cheat code. But still, it was a Sabres fumble. 3 guys in the top 10 of Selke. You know who any guesses if you haven't looked? Number 1 Sabre on that list?
Oh, I looked already, so I know.
You looked?
Number 1 Sabre on. Oh, I heard it being reported. Yeah, it's Tuck, right?
Yeah, Tuck 15th overall. Hey, so close to all the other former Sabres. That's a really I want to just give this 1 second of talk. That's a pretty pretty big come around for Jack. I mean, the fact that he's being listed and considered as one of the best defensive forwards, the fact that he got that in his game, I mean, he's already one of the better offensive players in the league. To have that two-way play and really what was lacking from him coming out of college, pretty impressive. I gotta give him credit.
Yeah, it's basically only second to like Rudy as far as heartwarming stories, I'd say. You know,
I'm not saying very much. Did you see this? Did you see that the Sabres are going to draft from One Bills Drive?
Yeah.
Like that's great.
Yep.
Let's try that. Let's do everything over there. We should just move the rink to the Bills facility.
Do you think that is it a little bit? Do you think it's just like, hey, we'll try this. We'll try to see if this magic works. It's in the room.
If I were the Bills, I'd be gatekeeping the hell out of that. I'd be like, get out of here. I'd be like, you can't, don't shake my hand. Don't touch anything in here. Just get out.
Get your fucking bad mojo out of here, Kevin.
You can set up in the hammer lot and then leave.
Yeah. Right.
But first, you got to fucking let Pinto Ron put ketchup and mustard. Just fucking, that's it. They're just tailgating in the hammer lot, fucking having a draft. That's great. All right, that was good. Those were my little hit list things to talk about. We'll have a lot more to talk about. I'll just again, I think it's gonna be funny that any trade from this point, or any stud or any big trade or a big signing, they're gonna be like, everybody hates Kevyn Adams. Like, if we didn't have Jarmo, he's gonna get full credit for any good thing that happens, and any bad thing that happens, it's just gonna go right back to Kevyn, which I agree on. I mean, I agree wholeheartedly, but you know how Buffalo is just looking for a savior, and maybe it's Jarmo Kekalainen and Kekalainen. You said it really good the first. I know I'm struggling on purpose a little bit, but you said it good, Chris. Say it. You can do it again.
Kekalainen.
Is it that easy?
Yeah, it's just like Ristolainen, but
Kekalainen. I could do that. Kekalainen. All right, I got it. I didn't.
Let's say his first name again.
Jar Jar. We're only referencing him as Jar Jar. All right. R.I.P. Frank Moberg. All right, let's get back into the draft of the drought draft. Chris was a little bit not aware, I think, he admittedly, of what we were doing the first round when he took first 6 rounds when he took Mitz in the second round, Bogosian in the third round. Really came back though. He had Dahlins, Mitz, Bogosian, Peterka, Greenway, Montour. Not for nothing, but like a team that would be built for.
I'm a drought boy, baby.
It would be built for the playoffs. Very strong defensively. You're definitely going to crush us defensively. Your first line is Middlestat, Peterka, and Greenway right now. I'm sure you'll mix that up as you get a little bit more players.
Listen, buddy, if I see Zach Bogosian lining up, I'm licking my chops. All right, I'm not worried at all.
I went Tage, Ryan O'Reilly, Vander Kane, Taylor Hall, Steve Ott, and Owen Power in the 6th round, and then Ryan, crushed early. Eichel, Reinhardt, Tuck, Skinner, Hagel, cheater, whatever. I don't like the Hagel pick, but we let him do it. I got outvoted for that. And then Benson, great 6th round pick there. Saw his name floated in some trade rumors this week, and like not where I want anybody to stay, really. Like I don't give a shit who they trade at this point, to be perfectly honest, just to make a change. But he's one that would really hurt. He's probably the top like 3 on my list. Like Dahlin is 1, Tage, and then I think it would be him, to be honest. That I don't want to give up on him at this point in his career. I think he's great.
Who would want a guy that should be going back down to Rochester this year?
Oh my God, I forgot that was said. So horrible, so brutal. But
by a paid professional.
Yeah, that's insane. Well,
that was the only reason I was able to get him in the 6th round. I think it was messing with you guys. That's why.
Yeah. That
Zach
reporter,
Bogosian going 4 rounds earlier. You know, you got to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna let that go. I'm sorry.
You shouldn't. You should not.
well,
I
Chris,
glossed over current Sabres for the most part.
well, you get to be the first one to change things around here.
Oh,
next
man.
round. So with the first pick in the 7th round, who do you got?
Oh, man. This is a really, really tough one. Because, I mean, I can't believe Connor Sheary made it this far in the draft. You know what I mean? You know the kind of players that I like, and that's a tough one to pass up. But if I'm really going for it, I'm gonna take an early rising star in Yuri Kulik.
I like that. That's a good pick.
I got a young up after Bogosian.
Yeah, you got to get young. You got to get younger again. But we're draft them as in their prime. So Bogosian was a good hockey player at one point, a above average hockey player at one point. I'm not convincing Ryan Muir. I'm trying, but okay.
It's over.
With the next pick in the 7th round, I have to find my notes. I'm going to go. I'm between two guys here because I do want to go to the defensive side, even though, man, this list is brutal and it's probably all one tier, but I just don't want to fall too behind Ryan on this thing. I'm going to go Braden McNabb. And there's a few guys that I can go here. I'm not going to name them and help anybody, but I do think that out of the few guys I was considering, he's had the best career. I know we're kind of considering him in his prime and not really everything to do with his career, but Stanley Cup, playoff experience, still a really good player on a really good team. I will go Brandon McNabb as my first defenseman in round 7.
Okay. So we need what? Like basically only minimum two starting defensemen, right?
You're going to have 6 by the end of this because we're going to do 18 rounds. So
Oh,
we're only going through 12 today, but we're going to do
gotcha.
another 6.
Okay.
So
So I
you're going to
can
eventually
really
need a
save it.
regular. Yeah, you're going to need a regular roster by the end of the draft.
Okay. All right.
Next week's is going to be really digging some names, man, because already this one's rough. I'm like, man, next week we are going to be getting into the names. You're joking about Connor Sheary, but he is 100%.
I wasn't joking.
Yeah, he will be on one of these rosters for sure.
I'm trying to decide if I want to go first defenseman here. It may be goalie or just go with third line forward production, which is a dime a dozen. We got basically an entire decade worth of players that are third liners really on a good team. So I'm going to just wait on that. I'm going to go Bowen Byram with my first defenseman pick. I mean, I have him on my list as the 3rd best defenseman in the drought era. Is that crazy? I mean,
I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy at all. I don't think he is a fit here with what they're trying to do. I do think he's one of the pieces that's out this offseason, but it would not be shocking to me that if he went somewhere and was great in a different system or whatever. And and even without Power or Darlene, where he could get some power play minutes and stuff like that, that I would even say that he would find a spot here. I just think he needs to move somewhere where he can be the top offensive player on their team, or defenseman on their team. So I don't think that's crazy for you to think.
Yeah.
But
All right.
good pick. And then your next one.
My next one, I'm gonna go. Goalies are so thin in this, and there's only been one goalie pick so far, right?
None.
None. Oh, easier. No. Okay. Then I'm going Linus Ullmark is the goalie pick here. I think I think he's easily number one. So I'll just lock him up here and move on.
Yeah, I think there's only probably 6 draftable guys that obviously we'll get them all between the three of us. But I think Allmark in his prime was the best. So I think you get a good pick there. I'm gonna go. You know what? No, I'm happy with doing this again, and I would be worried that Chris would take him. I know he got shit on a lot here, but when you're getting shit on, you're doing something right, because that means you're good a lot of the time, and people are disappointed when you're not. But Rasmus Ristolainen was good at a certain part in his career. I know the analytics were bad against him sometimes. The guy's still fucking playing. I know, and the analytics guys have been on him this past year. Like, he had a really good analytical year with Philly, a lot less minutes, right? So that probably helps. That was always his issue here. He was not he shouldn't have been a 1A, or he shouldn't have been a number 1 defenseman. But as a number 3 playing 20 minutes a night, he's fine.
I love it when the best thing you can say about the guy is he looks really good when he's not on the ice.
I don't think I said that either.
I mean, in a roundabout way, you did give kind of the less he plays, the better for everybody.
Yeah. No, that's a solid point. Well, he's my number 3 defenseman, so I think I'm all right. But yeah, that's it. I had 3 defensive picks in a row here. I think that might be enough for me for a while. But after watching this team play for 14 years, I wanted to try to put the best of the best together on the defense end. Chris, you're up for 2.
So this next pick I'm going to take is somebody that I surprised is kind of skated by because he's had such a great postseason. I'm going to go with Evan Rodriguez.
I was just going to take him. When I said no, that's who I was going to take.
Oh.
Yep,
well, if it makes you feel any better, if Rasmus Ristolainen had been on the next time I was going D, that would have been the one.
All right.
We're at about that level of defense.
Yeah. Rodriguez is a great pick there. Remember when people were saying when he was here, like, that he wasn't an NHL player, and now he's just on the first line of a team in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
Pretty great. He's a really good 2-way player. He doesn't have it all offensively, but kind of a perfect, just a workhorse when he's on the ice. So just, again, a guy that you want on your team when you make the playoffs, if you ever make the playoffs.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but he signed with the Sabres as a free agent, college free agent, after playing with Jack, right? At BU?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe so.
That was him, right? So, yeah, that was him.
Yep. I just remember thinking when he first got here, was like, come on, there's no way that, like, this guy is just riding Jack Eichel's coattails. Like, he can't actually be good himself. Like, and then he really was. He actually was.
You're
like,
right. That was the move there. He played with Jack and then came. Yeah. And I think a lot of us thought the same thing. And then, he never really got that time with Jack up on that top line. And, goes to Pittsburgh, played pretty well there, but obviously has found a little career resurgence here in Florida. So love the pick. Next, your first pick of the 9th round, I believe. Right?
Of the 9th round here, I'm going to hold off on goalie, I think, for a little bit here. This is not where I want to be, though.
It's tough.
I'm going to take Marcus Foligno here.
Oh,
that's a good pick.
Man, sure. I thought I was going to be able to wait on these guys. Nice.
Oh, yeah, but You look at the rest of the list. I totally understand what you're saying, but look at the rest of the list. Like Foligno deserves
I don't
to
want
be
to.
here.
I haven't.
Rodriguez,
I'm convinced I'm not going to need to. I'm
No,
refusing.
I know it's rough. I love both those picks. Really good there. And again, skill that we know skill doesn't always win championships. I think if we're putting our rosters up against each other, you have the most physical for sure. You have,
I'm grinding.
Yeah, you're a grinder over there. So
I would just wait till my team trades for Connor McDavid too.
I think because and I don't love this, but I'm talking myself into it for two different reasons. One, because I've said that I'm focusing on defense, and then two, because I'm using we're using peak performance as a in their prime as a factor. So I'm going to go UPL here because of what he did last year. And I think he is he the goalie that he was last year? I definitely don't think so. But if I can put those stats on this team, I'd be happy. That's kind of where I'm going with this, but I'm not happy about it. Let's just say that. Let's just say that and move on. And Ryan, your last pick of the 9th round and first pick of the 10th.
Well, I'm thrilled because I was worried that you were going to go goalie, and this is a goalie that I was prepared to take last time. I was prepared to take last turn. I'm going to just go on projection, and he's also having a nice postseason, albeit for the AHL team, or did have a nice postseason. Devin Levi. So, I mean, I'm very happy with, I think, the two best goalie. Allmark definitely was performance-wise, and I think Levi has potential-wise to be up there. So, and I just really want to see Leonard on the Cavemen hockey team that Chris has created. So, I'm going to leave him for you no matter what. All right. I'm going to stick to defense. I only have one defenseman, and I only have one other defenseman on my list currently. So I'm going to take him here. He was my 8th rated defenseman from the Sabres drought era. Little underrated, I think. Nikita Zadorov. That guy could kick some ass. All right. You're talking about balancing out Bo Byram. All right, let's get Nikita Zadorov, like quite literally like the opposite player of Bo Byram as far as playing style goes, and just physical. So I think he's underrated. I'm happy to take him here.
I like that.
I like that pick.
Physical, in the league still, playing at a high level. I mean, he got a lot of minutes for Boston, was it, at the end of the year this year? I think it was, and played really well. So Nikita Zadorov is not a bad pick there. I need to go offense here, so I'm gonna go. Man, it's running dry. Again, I'm going to look at this in when they were at their best, in their prime, and take Matt Molson here. Again, feels rough, but the guy did score 40 goals. Am I wrong with that? I'll look into that. Unless anybody has a strong opinion about Matt Molson. Go ahead, Chris, with 2.
So I'm going to bite on you guys both leaving me what's his face in goal.
Later.
Rod Later, that's exact. Listen, there's a lot of wellness policy violations on my roster, and I'm okay with that. So I'm gonna try to keep things rolling here. I'm gonna pair up another D-man here. I'm gonna pick up Ilya Lyubushkin.
All right. Still in the league, physical, still playing.
Still in the league, had a nice little playoff run.
Yeah.
With Dallas.
Yeah. Well, he played, I think, every game until I think in the last series they pulled the seventh defenseman and he was the scratch, but I
He
could
played
be wrong. I'm
last
saying that.
game that they were
Did he?
in.
Okay, then he might not have been the scratch. He might have played every game. Going back to Matt Molson, career high 36. He also had 31 and 30 with the Islanders. Any guesses of what his best year as a Sabre was? After he went 30, 31, 36 with the Islanders, and then in half a season in 2000, I think that might have been a strike season, 2012, 2013, 47 games, he had 15 goals, and then his first season as a Sabre,
11.
It's a little bit better, but 14 was his best year as a Sabre after 3 30-goal seasons in a row with the Islanders. But that's okay. Like him. But after that pick, I'm going to go. I need a little bit of grit on this team. Zegmas Girgensons. I didn't get to watch him a lot on Tampa. I didn't watch a lot of that series this year, and I know they were out quickly. But I always thought, whatever, now he's in his mid-30s, right? But I always thought he would, man, if he fucking ever made the playoffs, especially like with the Sabres after all the freaking grit he put into this team, that he would just been a friggin' power horse. Because there was games when he wanted to take over. He never had it, obviously offensively, but there was days he was all over the ice physically. Awesome penalty killer. You need guys like that to win. I'll take Zegmas Girgensons. Although he was like literally for the last 5 years, I'm like, just trade him to trade him. Like I was one of I hated him a lot, but I did respect the player. Rye, you got 2.
All right, a couple questions. Has Jack Quinn been taken?
Jack Quinn has not been taken.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take him right here. I'll give you a little secret. Okay. When I was building teams on the video games, NHL, EA, NHL franchise, I would never put together a third and fourth line of grinders. I just put together a third and fourth line of more guys who could score goals. So while you guys are trying to, play hockey in the 1980s, I'm just going to go try and score 1 million goals while also having 2 really good goalies. So I am going to just grab Jack Quinn here.
And then your first pick of the 12th round. This will be your last pick tonight.
This will? Oh, perfect. Because I'm really
your last pick tonight. Yeah,
that's great. Because I've been looking down at my phone, just Googling the past 8 seasons of Sabres history, trying to find enough guys to take. I didn't go back far enough because my list is really, this is going to be the first reach, or my first reach, I think. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stick to recent, and I'm going to go Victor Olofsson. That he's not been taken, right?
Nope.
He's a power play guy. Serves a role. Also has played with Jack. Like, can shuffle up these lines and just do 3 balanced lines. I mean, I'm kicking your guys' ass in this.
You're playing fucking pond hockey, dude. As soon as fucking Girgensons or Bogosian fucking hit one of these fuckers,
I love how in your mind there's like structure in this like fantasy that we're playing. You're like, oh, this would never work out in real fantasy hockey.
There is fucking structure. Yes, no, I already have it. In fact, I'm probably gonna make all these teams in NHL 25 when we're done, and I'm gonna sim 100 games against each other and see who wins. This is now a bit, I think. I don't know. I was going to somebody else, and then I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Kyle Poso here. I mean, Girgensons, Molson, and Poso is probably the most hated line in the drought history of those 3 guys. But
oh my god,
all in their prime.
There too. You're just
Risto. Like I really,
God.
I'm the guy. I'm trying to like apologize for some players. No,
you're creating a line that was the reason you ultimately don't have season tickets anymore. You're just like, why are you doing this to yourself?
I do think technically, while it's my current third line right now, while I don't have, because I don't have, but that would be my fourth line when it's all said and done, and I think they're perfect for each other. So, yeah, I like that. Chris, what's your last pick of the night?
So I have a bit of a question here.
Okay.
So did you put me down with Robin Lehner last round?
I did.
Okay.
I didn't know that
I was saying that I was going to bite that neither of you were going to snipe him from me. And I was going to try to steal Victor Olofsson after
shit,
Ilya Lyubushkin, which is fine. No, that's fine.
You got revenge.
You got revenge for me voting that Brandon Hagel was a Sabre at one point. That's fine. I'm very happy for you.
I will give you 2 picks right now if you want to sub Lehner.
No, that's okay. We'll keep Lehner down. There is another incredibly terrible player that I was going to put on my team. But if we're going with prime seasons, and that's the guy that I get, I'm going to go with Dylan Cousins for that 1.5 years of magic.
Yeah. I've thought about him for like the whole night, to be honest. I could have taken him in the 7th round just for that purpose alone. So not a bad pick at all. And it gets you back. I think you had I really like your round 7 through 12 here. So we'll run through the teams really quick. Chris's team, Dahlin, Middlestat, Bogosian, Peterka, Greenway, Montour, Kulich, Evan Rodriguez, Foligno, Lehner, Lyubushkin, Cousins. I have Tage, Ryan O'Reilly, Vander Kane, Taylor Hall, Ott, Power, McNabb, Risto, UPL, Molson, Gergensons, and Oposo. I can't even say it without laughing. Ryan's got Eichel, Reinhart, Tuck, Skinner, Hagel, Benson, Byram, Allmark, Levi, Zadorov, Quinn, Olofsson. We'll keep putting up the rounds, and next week's last 6 rounds should be horrible. I literally have, I think I have about 6 names left on my list, so I'll have to do a little bit more research for next week. But it's great.
You're forgetting one guy at the top of the list who was excited to be here for the next 6 years. But that's all I'll say about him.
I don't know.
I think Chris knows who I'm talking about.
I don't know.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
All right. Quickly, let's. We got about 10 minutes left. Let's preview. I mean, we don't have to really review the playoffs. Here we are. We're in the finals. One thing I want to talk about, because obviously, I'll say that my perfection. Not only did it go away quickly there at the last game of the second round, but my third and fourth rounds really fell apart too. I thought I had Dallas going all the way. Love that this ended up being the way it did. But man, I did not expect Dallas to falter that badly against Edmonton. The Ottinger thing is so fucking weird. And the way that DeBoer played that, and I get it. And Lindy does this shit a lot too. Not that I, love Lindy or anything, but really, really mixed up the lines. Try to, sat Jason Robertson early in the series. Only played him like 10 minutes one game. The next game he comes out, he fucking scores 2 goals. Like, you kind of just got to let your best players work through that shit. I don't understand, you want them. You don't like a player's effort in the Western Conference Finals, who's a big part of why you're in the Western Conference Finals. That's an off-season issue. let him work through it, man. I don't love it. I don't love his coaching style, but specifically, not only does he pull Ottinger after the two shots in Game 7 that goes through, one of the best goalies in the league. But did you hear the comments after the game? Like when they asked him about it, he legit was like, he's 1-7 against the Oilers, and he let up 2 goals in the first 2 shots. I mean, I appreciate honesty in sports, but that was like throw the dude under the bus. Thoughts?
That was incredibly messed up because it's not like he was the reason that they were getting steamrolled. It's not like it was a competitive series and he was just Swiss cheese behind everybody. Like, they were getting stomped. And I mean, if you're going to pull him because it's an elimination game and you have a bad start, pull him, but it feels like it was somehow personal.
Yeah, it's just really bad form. I feel like, even if you think that deep down, you should not be sharing that with the media. It doesn't serve your team in any way. It just, to me, looks like you're trying to make yourself look better and to pass off blame from yourself. And you should just eat that in the situation because nobody is going to, that's just the play is always just to take the blame as a coach. I just couldn't disagree with it anymore. I think the Stars will be fine. I wasn't surprised. I think I did pick the Oilers to go to the finals, I think, against the Capitals when we first started this. So I just think that they're one of the best teams. I mean, now second year in a row, all those years that they didn't get it done. I mean, they've been to the playoffs so many years. Like, it was bound to happen that they were going to turn the corner like this, just to stick with it. And I hope they get rewarded this year. I really do. I know I joke about the McDavid thing, but like, I kind of just do want to see him get a cup. Like, the best players in the sport should get rewarded. I just want to see that. And I always pull for him because that guy absolutely has just got like the most competitive drive ever. Every interview I've seen, the guy looks like a psycho. So go Oilers.
Yeah, I'm there, man. I'm there for I'm definitely rooting interest for the Oilers, for Canada. I think it's just better for the game. I think it's better for the game to have your star player, start compiling cups. This won't be his first, and it won't, or it's going to be his first, but it won't be his last. I'm definitely going to be rooting for them. Let's just play before we do our predictions. Let's play let's just pretend like they do. We had this conversation via text the other day, and I said, let's save it for the podcast. But say the Oilers win it, whatever. Let's say Game 7, fun, whatever. Our boy Jeff Skinner, where is he in the lineup to touch the cup? Obviously, McDavid gets it from Bettman, spits in his face like we all should. And then goes around with who's McDavid handing it off to first? And then where's Skinner in that lineup? I'll start with you, Rye.
So hockey is weird. It's not what you would expect. My first instinct is to say the second person that gets the cup is Draisaitl. And that probably is still the right answer. He's an assistant captain, has been with the team, I mean, almost as long as McDavid. I still think he's probably that guy. Don't they have somebody like like Evan Bouchard? Like, he would be the perfect guy to hand it off to, like some old guy that's been with, that's first cup.
Young, though. His name Bouchard's not that old. Yeah, I don't think he's that old. I don't think he's got the top. I think 99, so 15 years. Yeah, he's only 25.
All right, he's not. All right, so he's not getting the cup second. Yeah, it's Draisaitl then for me. I mean, Skinner, I think probably gets it. His over under is probably like 4.5. Like, that's what I'd set his line at. As like, he's either going to get it like 4th or 5th, I would say.
Chris?
I would say Draisaitl would probably be number 2. The only thing I was thinking about, we're going in imaginary scenario. Let's say it is a Game 7. Let's say it's a 1-0 triple overtime classic. Stuart Skinner is in the top 2. Like it might even be a you go grab the cup thing. But outside of that, I think he'd be closer to 5. I feel like Draisaitl has to be number 2, mostly because this has like been the McDavid Draisaitl quest these past couple of seasons. And if our Skinner is dressed for the cup, I was talking about Stuart Skinner when I said second in the overtime classic. If our Skinner is dressed for the game, 6, 7. I feel like he might get it, or it depends on the game. But if it's just he's third, fourth line in it, 11 minutes in the game, if he doesn't have an impact, I think it waits a little bit.
Well, you guys are going to make me go back now and look, when did Kyle Okposo last year get the cup? Because it's like that equivalent, right?
Yeah. That's a good.
I would put my money. It's like around the same time. I like this Stuart Skinner point. I think that's a really good point. I think Evander Kane is pretty high on this list too, because he's been there for a while now, and like he's kind of like been their rallying cry when everything was going on with him, and they all stood up for him and whatever, and he's been there for a while now. So yeah, I think he's up there. I'd love to see it. They deserve it. It would be cool to watch that.
Well, he is currently Skinner, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I think he's 6, 7. I don't know. He's in the top 10. It looks like here as I'm scrolling through the names of games played without a Stanley Cup won. I'm going to say Draisaitl is the 2, but that Jeff Skinner will be the third person to touch the cup. I think that they'll go on. I think you're right, and you might have. I don't even know who. Kane makes a lot of sense. I thought Kane might have had more games played, but he doesn't. It's insane how long Skinner's been playing. When you look at it, it's like he's really got. I mean, he's got over 1,000 games. I want to say that he'll especially with the first year. But to Chris's point, is he going to be dressed? I think he played well enough when they put him in. And I don't think that they put him in. If I again could be wrong here. I don't want to. I don't think they put him in out of injury or anything. They put him in because of just trying to mix things up, and he played well. So I would imagine that he'll be in. But again, he could play himself out of the lineup too, seeing that he doesn't play much defense. If you ever watched him play.
That's why he's on my team in the drought draft.
Yeah, dude. Go ahead, Chris. You look like you wanted to say something. Sorry.
No, I'm pretty sure he was dressed because of injury, but I can't remember. I was looking to see something quick.
Savannah Huemuller, Stars beat reporter, tweeted 2 hours ago, hearing some big changes coming for the Stars. That's got to be DeBoer. How do you send your, and I get successful year, but how does that goalie and coach coexist? And when coaches get fired every other year and your goalie's locked up for whatever amount of years under a pretty sizable goalie contract, like who wins that battle? It's Oscar.
Yeah, but
right?
That's not my read of that tweet. I'm reading that tweet as potentially Jason Robertson, right? There's a little speculation about him. He's got 1 year left on his deal. He's 26. They could do they just paid Rantanen. They could do the reverse of that, right? They move him for a haul of youth and kind of reset the clock and hope that in 3 years, when you're ready to pay that guy, that it works out when you can get rid of Rantanen, right? So I don't know. It's a thought. I don't think we're ready for a player like that. I mean, it's hilarious to say you're not ready for a player to win games after 14 seasons of not being in the playoffs, but I just don't know if Robertson would move the needle enough, but he is really good. So
I love him. I love him as a player. It was shocking to me that they, and I know Dallas fans who probably watch him more, just like we, but there's guys that just, I don't want to say take days off, but there's just, it's hard to show up 82 games a year, when your name's not Connor McDavid. So, but yeah, I would love any opportunity at him. And Jarmo, Jar Jar, is going to be throwing things out there, trying to get him. Well, listen, we're right on an hour. I'm somehow timing these perfect. I mean, let's not be. My finish was perfect. Not the finish of the podcast. My Finnish language was perfect. I'm doing this. I got that really cool open video. We will have a website soon for the Not Your Uncle's podcast station. We're on YouTube. Please go like and subscribe. You'll have us and Analytics Are for the Nerds. Me and Ryan Mura and Ellie Brady's fantasy football podcast there. All of our old shows are from here and there are all on our YouTube. Spotify, you can catch us wherever you get your podcast. Besides that, any last thoughts, Chris, Rye?
Nope.
Okay. Well, that was
Oilers.
good. Go Oilers.
Go Oilers.
And I don't know. I guess what R.I.P. What was his name? Frank
Moberg. You forgot about Frank Moberg already?
Frank Moberg. R.I.P. Frank Moberg. I'm sorry. I was so excited about your passing. And have a wonderful week. We will be back in 2 weeks to preview the draft and talk about the finals and figure out when Jeff Skinner touched the cup. For Louie G, Ryan Mura, and Chris Flumer, this has been From This Point Forward, a Buffalo Sabres podcast. Have a wonderful evening.